In this video, I will be demonstrating the functionality of EDI for Spire. EDI for Spire is a web application that we develop for trading documents with partners such as Walmart, Costco, Canadian Tire, and so forth. First, I'll log in. And so the EDI for Spire is made up of two main modules. The mailbag, this is for partners that trade and exchange the PO acknowledgement, and the ASN, Advanced Shipping Notice, documents, and invoices. And in this module, you can manage your incoming POs all the way from incoming to the invoicing stage, and I'll show a demonstration of that. Some partners only require invoices to be sent from Spire to them. They do not use all the document types, for example, the PO, which is the 850, and also the ASN, the shipping notice, which is the 856. So then the only module in use is the invoicing module. And in this module, what it does, it displays the invoices from Spire, so that a user can take actions, and I'll use one example in a little bit. First, I'm just going to start off with a few of the items here in the menu. So we have inventory mapping. This module is for when you need to map your part numbers in your Spire database to the part number of your trading partner. For example, if you trade with Costco and they have a unique part number and your part number in your Spire database is not the same, then you create a map here. And the same for customer mapping, with including shipping addresses. So if your shipping address ID is not the same in Spire as your partner's ID, then you do create a mapping here. And next is the tax code mapping as well. That if this is essential, that if you trade with any partners that collect HST and GST, then you need to map the EDI tax codes, which are specific to your tax codes in your Spire database. And on this screen, you set up the trading partners. This is one part that we do for you because there is some back end field mapping involved in this. So we do that for you. But this is the screen where all your partners are set up. Each partner has defined which documents they trade. So for example, I'll open up this one. In this case, it's a hardware store. And you can see that we have various options to select. But here the requirement documents are selected. So the ASN, the invoicing, that's the module where you only send invoicing to them. And then some additional requirements. And then also you set your default warehouse. You set your units of measure, whether it's the default or using the partner's units of measures. The terms code, terms basic code. So various things to map to the partner. And beyond that, you have your users tab, your settings, your schedule. This is where you schedule your file checking every day. So you check for files, incoming files from your partners. And so you can set this on a schedule, or you can also run this at any given time manually. So next, I'm going to start off in the mailbag. I have some incoming files here from, for example, Costco. And I'm just going to go again and check trading partners. And I'm going to see if for Costco, I have turned on the ASN, which I believe I do. Yes, so for Costco, for this case, I have the ASN turned on. That way I can demonstrate that functionality. In the mailbag, I'm going to go to one of the Costco ones. And my first step is to do an action, for example. In this case, I'm going to take this Costco invoice. I'm going to go and post this invoice to Spire. I have the option of defaulting to a certain warehouse, or also have an option for it to pop up while posting to select the warehouse. In this case, I'm just going to leave it as default. So this order has now been created in Spire. So now it's ready for the order clerk or the person that manages orders in Spire to start processing this order. And then what you will see now in the screen, I'm just going to go and refresh. This particular order that I just posted will now show as posted to Spire. And now I can commit other various actions against this order in EDI4 Spire. Here, for example, I have one where it already shows I again posted as I just did this one order. And then this order already has an ASN sent. So an ASN was created and a PO acknowledgement as well. PO acknowledgement is the 855 for documents. That's when you have an incoming PO and then you want to acknowledge that you can fulfill that. So then you have that already in the system. And I'm going to check for another one that I can post so that I can show how the ASN works. I'm going to take one order from Staples. Here I have one posted, and I'm going to use that exact one. I believe this is the one that I posted before. And so here I'm going to go and do another action. So first of all, create a PO acknowledgement. Again, Staples does not require that, but for testing and demonstration purposes, I have it set up. So I'm going to click on create PO acknowledgement. I'm going to click on go. And then here you have to define what exactly it is that you're acknowledging. So you can acknowledgement type, you can say accepted, reject with detail, reject no details. So I'm going to select accepted. All the items in here, I'm going to select them as accepted as well. And then I have to define a date as to when the estimated delivery will be. So I'm just going to go and select a date for all of these. Technically, it would be the same date if you're planning on shipping them all at the same time, but here I'm just selecting any dates. I'm going to go and create a PO acknowledgement now. Actually, I have to leave a note here overall what the estimated delivery date will be. Okay, so I've created a PO acknowledgement, meaning that they now have received the acknowledgement saying when I will fulfill it. So now you can see I have posted this to Spire and I've created a PO acknowledgement. And I'm going to go now saying create an ASN. Click on go. And here now I can define what's all in the ASN. So the original, meaning I'm just generating the first one now. Cancellation, replace, not process, seller, initiate, change. So there are these additional codes that you need to provide. So I have to now define when I will ship this. The delivery date, I will say the 29th. Shipment tracking number, just going to give it any number. The carrier, that's called a SAC in EDI. I'm going to go and say this will ship via Campar. Packaging type, it's going to be a carton. And FOB code, prepaid by seller. And then I'm going to go and define what it is that which part numbers I'm going to ship in this particular ASN. I can generate more than one. Here I'm just going to go and generate one for demonstration purposes. So I'm just going to enter the exact quantity that is shown here. And I'm going to save details. The weight, I have to define the weight. So say 12 kilograms, save. Okay. And now I have created my first ASN. Now I have an option to commit an action against this. So I can go and edit this or I can go and delete this, which I'm not going to do here. I am just going to now select an action against this whole order. I'm going to say I'm going to go and say and actually edit this ASN. Oh, actually, I did not fulfill the whole thing. There were a lot more parts on here than originally shown. I do have the option now to go and send this ASN to the vendor, and then also an option to print the label. ASN is always associated with a label. And then last on my order, I have the option now to go and invoice the order once the ASN is created and sent. And so here now, again, I manage this order and you can see the ASN was created. And then now what I'm going to do, I am going to I'm going to archive this order. Let's say I've now managed the full order. It's all done. I'm going to go and archive this so that it no longer shows up in my mailbag. So I'm going to go and click on go. So it's archived. So that order is no longer showing in my mailbag. That mailbag order is now in my mailbag archived. And so you can see that order here. I have the option of, again, move to mailbag, meaning let's say I've not managed the full order. There's more to do with this order. I can go move back into my mailbag and then further manage the order. Next, I'm going to just briefly demonstrate the invoicing module. Again, this is for trading partners where you only send invoices to them via EDI. There's still a number of those companies that only make use of sending EDI invoices. They don't do POs over EDI, so they still manage POs the traditional way where they fax or email the order, but then the invoice that is being sent to them via the EDI option. And so here the very basic options are just to say create an invoice. And what I'm doing here now, I'm creating an invoice to send to this partner. And there we go, I've sent this. And again, here now you see invoice status. I can go and view invoice or archive. So I'm going to go and archive this. This invoice now, after it's archived, it is going to show under my invoicing archive module. So you see that over here. And I also have the option of going, when I invoice here, which in other modules exist as well, I can actually do multi-actions. So I can go and say, I want to invoice all these three. So I can go and do a multi-action. I can go and say create invoices, go. So what it's doing now, it's creating invoice for all four of these. That's also an option in another module, in the mailbag module, where you can go and manage more at the time. That way you don't have to click on each individual one. And so here you can see these three are invoiced now. I can do the same thing. I can select these three invoices. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to archive them. So these invoices are now archived. Another thing to note here is you can create an invoice and archive both at the same time. And there we go. I've done that now. And so that is the basic functionality of EDI4 Spire. If you have any further questions, please send us an email, and we can also do a personalized demo of EDI4 Spire.